welcome to Create Your Sacred Life. And I am Tony Black, and I have just recently started this up, started last week. And every Saturday morning here, Japan time, Tokyo time, it's also 4 p.m. Pacific time. I'm going to be doing these Facebook Lives for you, and so that we can. I basically want you to be able to heal yourself, and so that's my job. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm here for. So I want to welcome you. Thank you very much for showing up today, and I'm still trying to figure out how to do the comments thing, and I just don't know. So wish me luck. But I just wanted to show you this. This is super cool, right? So Today's Facebook Live is all about how to create more clarity and purpose and boundaries by using a grounding practice. And when I got dressed today, literally, like I just reached into my little chest of drawers, and I pulled out this shirt. Now, this shirt is one I saw it in Thailand, and I was like, I have to have that shirt. So check this out, though. Roots grounding practice. This is super exciting. I'm so excited. So. Yay! Alright, so I am so ready to go with this. I'm super excited. I'm so happy you're here. Yay! Yay! Alright, I'm gonna see if I can see any comments here because I am curious. I'm just gonna be curious if there are, and there are some interactive things that I would love to do with you. Let's see here. Help if I was on my page. I just saw a cat eating fried chicken. Alrighty. So. Alright. So yay! Alright. Super excited that you are here today with me. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. First, I want to tell you a little bit more about what this is all about. First, I'm going to tell you a little bit about a little story about why this is so important to me. I started a grounding practice religiously just recently, and I am just blown away with how effective this truly, truly is. Because for a really, really long time in my life, I was kind of like wandering through and wondering what I was supposed to be doing with my life. And so I was kind of seriously like walking up to people being like, what do you know about me? And it's just like as if they know. I mean, it's hard enough to figure out what you want to do for yourself in your life. But yeah, so that's basically what I was doing. And I joined lots and lots of sort of like self-development, personal development courses. I became a Nia black belt, and I've taken lots. I'm now training to be a Martha Beck coach, and I'm also doing this really cool intuitive training, which is just mind blowing, which is where I learned this practice. So the thing is this has now become such a source of clarity, and every day I wake up in the morning and I know exactly what my mission for that day is, and I'm like, wow, this is just seriously a mind-blowing, completely game changer for me. But yeah, I mean, I remember, hello Connie, I can see comments now, this is so exciting. But yeah, I remember at the very end of my black belt, it's usually on a day 6. They're 7-day long, intensive, 7 in the morning to 7 in the evening. We're just going hard, and it's physically intensive, emotionally, spiritually, it's super intensive, and mentally intensive as well. So, hi Kay, I'm so excited that you joined us. So I remember every single time that I do a Nia intensive, there at the towards the end, I'll be just it feels like I've been beaten down. Not that it's actually that like I've been beaten down. Like there's nothing horrible that happens. It's a weird sort of like, I mean, I could just compare it to sort of a shamanic journey. Hello, Stephanie! So yeah, I'd be sitting there on the floor just like reduced to a heap of rubble. Because I just, like my ego had been just beaten and just like pulled out of me, and like somewhere over there was my ego, and I was just kind of like left like, who in the hell am I and what is going on with my life? So this practice has become so paramount on and it's a strong one for me. So I don't know if you can relate to this, but my cousin and I, we were talking this past week, and we were talking about how interesting it is that, you know, we've got the pushover gene in our family too. And I don't know if that's true for you, but and if it is, you can always say, yes, it is, you know, I'm a pushover. Like, I think one of the most embarrassing pushover traits that I had is when it would come to my own children, and there would be a decision that I would have to make that would almost put their safety at stake, and that was horribly embarrassing. But it's a pushover gene, and I did a lot of meditation about this, and what dawned on me is that there's a lot of history in my ancestry of giving up loved ones, and having to surrender. There's a whole lot of surrender in my past, and so I have come to a point where I realize now how important it is to come into my own space. So this grounding practice actually will allow you to come into your own space and to become clear on what your boundaries really truly are. I would never ever want for anybody to experience what I experienced. Thank goodness I had a good cloud of angels around me to redirect me and to make better decisions. But there were a lot of times that I would make decisions that were really questionable, all because I just wasn't clear. My own personal boundaries had been so violated from the time that I was young, and this is typical for everybody. I'm not saying, oh my goodness, this is my story, it's horrible. No, like, people from the time that they're born have their boundaries violated, and I mean, which sounds a whole lot more violent than it is, but you know, it starts as simple as, you know, my brother is poking me and it's driving me crazy, and you know, and the parents are like, stop it, you know, like it's just a typical thing that happens. So having your boundaries violated time after time after time, eventually you just kind of like crumble down and end up wondering what your own boundaries are, and who you are, even, which is exactly what happened to me and why I ended up pursuing personal development ad nauseum. So yeah, I mean, part of this boundary, you know, the pushover gene, it's like, oh, this is just who I am, and I just have to learn to accept it. And it's like, nah, you don't really have to learn to accept it, but what you can do is develop skills to set yourself better on course. And this, again, this grounding practice is one of those that's definitely going to put you on course. So this past week I experienced a really interesting experience after doing my grounding practice, where somebody came to me and asked me if I would like to take advantage of an opportunity, and you know, it really didn't sit right with me. So, and I remember I told the person, no, that's okay, maybe later, I'm not really sure. And again, that's that pushover sort of gene coming out. I don't know. Let me just like think about it. Well, really honestly, in my mind, I was thinking, no, I really don't want to do this. But I didn't have the heart to say no. And I mean, again, say yes if this is something that is typical for you, because I know that it, especially for women, this is something that we do. So, which is kind of heartbreaking. So the person came back and said, hey, I realize that like right now this may not be it, but, and she just kind of wrote me a good blurb about why I really needed to take advantage of her services. And inside, it brought up a really interesting part of me that I was able to kind of stand by and just watch and observe. And it was a part of me that was kind of freaking out, going, well, what does she know about me? She doesn't know anything, and da-da-da-da. Well, she da-da-da. And I was making up this story in my mind of what was going on with this woman that really didn't know me. She was just wondering if I was interested in her services, and she was willing to go to bat for me, which is really, actually a kind thing. But I was not receptive. I'm not interested in the services. So I turned around to her and I said, no. That's it. This is after doing my grounding practice. I realized, oh, that's all I have to do. No is the magic word. No. And she said, okay. Now, so this practice is going to give you that backbone. It's also going to give you, that, and I talk about the bubble, which, and a lot of teachers, they use that for little kids. Because little kids are always invading each other's bubbles, so it's like, no, keep to your bubble. Well, it's an energetic bubble. We really do have that energy. So, so it's very important to keep that bubble and be able to feel in your body that sense of, no, this is not, and you'll feel it in your power center, that center part of you that's right underneath your rib cage. You'll feel no actually come up, but then the mind will come in and say, well, it's not really that nice and socially acceptable to say no. So instead we're going to say, maybe, I'm not sure. Whoa, okay, stop. This is when it's really important to have that grounding practice in place so that you know what that boundary is, and you can express what you really mean and what you really want to say. Let's see, yeah. So that's pretty much what I wanted to say about that. You are going to piss people off when you say no to them, because people don't like being told no. It activates the 3-year-old in us, so that's normal. But the thing that you need to ask yourself is, what is your ultimate happiness worth? Are you willing to sacrifice so that you can see other people happy? What will happen if you are happy? If you are legitimately happy and you are just rising to your biggest potential, you can't do that if you're just saying, yeah, okay, and baking 800 cupcakes for the entire school, your child's entire school, like, you have to be able to establish those boundaries so that you can pour all of your energy into what is super seriously important for you and for others as well. Another thing that's important to point out is that boundaries need to be crossed in order for you to establish them. And the thing is my teacher, my mentor, Martha Beck, she says that anger is the immune system of the emotions, which is just, it's so rich to me. Allowing yourself to sense it will help you actually understand where your boundary is. So if you sense yourself getting angry, you don't want to stop that. You want to actually feel it. You want to move through it. you want to express it in some way, and you really want to figure out what is that boundary that's trying to express itself through my anger. So if you need help with that, please contact me. That's what I'm here to do. So in today's grounding practice, I'm going to lead you through a grounding practice, and then I will answer any questions that you might have. I realize that you may not be here right now, but that's cool. In today's grounding practice, it will help you become more clear with your daily mission, which is super cool, because your daily mission, it's like, you take little tiny itty bitty steps, and eventually they lead to this big, like, whoa, this is really awesome in my life. So it's going to help you become more clear with your daily mission. It'll feed into your overall mission. It's so easy to get derailed by what others are telling you to do. So you really need to be able to stick with your own boundaries, understand what your boundaries are, stick with them, stay there. It will, so eventually you're going to find yourself if you allow others to keep violating your boundaries, you're going to find yourself no lifeline when it's time to make a decision on your own. Because then, you've let other people make decisions for you for so long that you're going to be left at some point when you have to make a critical decision. You're going to be like, what am I supposed to do with my life? What nobody's telling me what to do. You're going to be cloudy. So of course that clarity is going to be all muddled. So this practice today is going to help you stand on your own feet. It's also going to allow you to pull from your own source of wisdom that is within you, so that you can make decisions that are good for you. So the result is a sense of purpose and mission, and you're going to feel as if you are on your own path, which is great. Yay! We all want to be on our own path. So more importantly, you're going to sense your boundaries. You're going to know what they are. So again, I talked about the bubble. The bubble is very, very important. And I mean, I don't know if you remember kindergarten, but in kindergarten they talk about the bubble. Stay within your bubble. So this practice is going to help you also reestablish your bubble so that you can shine your light in a bigger and better way. So we're going to go ahead and get started with this. I want you to find yourself in a very comfortable spot. If you can, put both of your feet on the ground too. It is okay for you to be standing, but I really would prefer that you be sitting, since we're going to be rooting from the base of our spine as well. So I'm going to sit down. I am sitting down. I mean, if you are laying down, that's okay too. You can do that. I'm going to close my eyes. I want you to do the same if you feel comfortable closing your eyes. And if you don't feel comfortable closing your eyes, it's okay. You can just kind of put them down a little bit. Allow your eyelids to kind of droop down. Close them a little bit. Okay, so now I would like for you to sense right in the middle of your power center. Again, this is a space that's right underneath your rib cage, maybe about 2 fingers under your rib cage, 2 or 3 fingers. Right in that center is your inner pilot light. And that inner pilot light contains the true essence of who you are. And you're here to lead others. And you're here to heal yourself so that you can also lead others. So that inner pilot light, your soul's essence, I want you to see that light. Allow it to expand into your chest. your entire body with light, beautiful white and violet light. Notice your breath moving in and out of you like the waves of the ocean. Listen to the waves of the ocean that are your breath. You're going to allow that light to expand past your physical boundary and out into your bubble that surrounds you. So now you're going to find yourself right back at the source of that soul's essence, that inner pilot light that is there in your power center. You're going to allow that to root, to come on down, trace your spine down out of the bottom of your back. And it's going to hit the ground. You can visualize roots or a cord or an anchor or a big magnet. Be really careful with magnets, though. I've realized that they can be actually really powerful. Allow it to come down through the top of the earth, the top layer of the earth, down through the rocks, through the water table. I want you to sense for temperature change through the roots. And you're going to be mingling with other roots. Continue to drop down, 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 down. You're going to sense moisture, dry, lots of different changes as you drop down. Continue to drop down right into the center of our Great Mother. And once you get to that center, I want you to notice what you see. You're going to look around for a place to tie that anchor, to tie that golden rope or those roots. Allow them to find a space to stay, to plant, to root, to stick. Notice the quality of your surroundings in this rooted, deep, deep rooted place here within the Great Mother Earth. Is it watery? Is it fiery? Is it cold? Is it dark? Is it light? What is it? Notice it. This beautiful source has a message for you. What is it? is your message for you, for me? As you receive this message, you're going to express gratitude. Thank you. Thank you. Great Mother. I want you to sit with your message. Sense her arms around you in the form of the surroundings that you see and sense. She wants you to understand and to know that you are so perfect. She's also wrapping your roots up, wrapping those roots up in a shield of protection. And this shield of protection is going to continue to feed you in any way you need support. And now you're going to once again thank Mother Earth. Thank you so much, Mother Earth, for granting us with this beautiful experience. And you're going to begin finding your way back up. As you find your way back up, it's going to be very, very gradual. You're going to shed anything that you really don't need. Shed any resentment, shedding hurt, shedding any memories of having your boundaries violated. Shed all of that. Give it over to her so that she can transform it. She is the great creator. She will create something beautiful in the place of those past hurts and those past resentments. She wants you to know that she is here to hold you. And she is here whenever you need her. And to root down and connect to her whenever you need to. So now we're going to come on up into your feet. Noticing the Earth's energy, Mother Earth's energy, once again entering into your body. Allow it to once again come alive. Even undulate your spine a little bit to sense that Earth energy coming up into it. Right back into that power center. power center. Now that you have been filled up with all of that beautiful energy from the center of the earth, you're going to allow your power center to expand. Allow that light from your power center to expand, filling that bubble around you. And I want you to inspect it. And I want you to notice, where do you see any weak spots in that boundary bubble? In that field that's around you? Where do you sense it? This light is it's radiating from the center of you out into your boundary. And we just activated a whole lot of power from Mother Earth. She is now going to reinforce. She's going from on the outside of your bubble, of your boundary bubble there. And she's reinforcing it with her own light. And this makes your boundary bubble extremely strong and extremely firm and completely impenetrable. I want you to say to yourself, I know, and I am. I want you to repeat that to yourself as many times as you need to. I know, I am. I'm going to come right back into that center once again. Sensing your source, sensing your power. Your roots are still rooted down. You've still got them down there, and you want them to stay there. And you now have a greater sense of your boundaries, boundary bubble. I want this to continue throughout your day. Allow yourself to move a little bit as you come out of this space, this everyone. And blink your eyes open. And, yes, okay, so that is our grounding practice for today. And I really, really appreciate you joining me today. I would love to hear any feedback that you have after experiencing that. And I really want for you to enjoy your day. Mwah! I am feeling really super grounded right now. I also am feeling my bubble, and I am feeling like conquering the day. So, and you enjoy yours. All right. Bye-bye.